just ignore that option also. Now third one is some birds are telephone. Okay, now let's see that. All telephone are birds. No, right? Because only some telephone, the only thing is mentioned that is some telephone are carrots. So it is not mentioned that all telephone are birds or all telephone are carrots. So we can say that is not correct. So only the only one option that follows this statements is which one? Third option, right? Some birds are telephone. So only three follows, right? So yeah, this is the diagram, possible diagram for this question. Okay. All right. So only three follows. So that is the answer to this question. Okay. So now let's move on. Okay. So that's about syllogism. See the entire point of this session is to give you the uh, give you an overview of how these questions are coming from or what is the logic behind this question, right? So, so what you can do is, so since as since many of you are like completely new to this, so we cannot just completely raise the complexity also. But so what I would suggest is once you learn the basics of a topic, right? So from these sessions, once you get a clear understanding of how these questions are coming from, or what is the way to solve this, or what is the pattern. So once you understand this, you what you can do is you can just look for more questions. Just one after the other, keep on increasing the complexity, and you can just try to solve as many questions as possible. So that is the only way that you can improve in this reasoning or any other cognitive skills, right? So yeah, I would suggest you to note the things, like if you understand the basics, right? So then you can just simply practice by yourself. Okay, so that is the uh, aim behind this session. So I think that part is clear. Now we will just move to the next one, which is data sufficiency. Okay, so uh, so data sufficiency means, so this kind of questions. So here what happens is, you'll be having a question, and this question will be followed by some clue statement. So you will be given some clues about the question. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to find out whether uh, these clue statements are sufficient to answer the question or not. Okay. So let's say, um, for example, so if the question is what is the height of X person, then your uh, answer should not be like what is the height, like that exact centimeter. No, that is not the uh, answer here. So here what happens is, so let's say the question is what is the height of X person. So you will be given some clues. Okay. So it'll be like, first clue will be X has 12 centimeter greater than Y, and Y is 20 centimeter less than B or something like that. So there'll be different clues. So you just need to find out how many clues do you need to, find out the solution. Okay. So if you can find out the solution from the given clues, and whichever the clues that you use, then you can mention that in the option it will be given. Okay, I'll show you in the example. So then you, based on that, you can select the option that is uh, correctly matching. Okay. So it will be clear once you see one example. Okay. Okay. So I will just show you one example and then we can see. Okay. So here is one example. Okay. In a T20 international match, six batsmen scored different number of runs. Okay. The question is how many batsmen have scored more runs than Dhoni? Okay. So we have a cricket match. Six batsmen scored more than like six different runs. So we need to find out how many batsmen scored more than Dhoni. Okay, so that is the question. So here we have given some clues. The first clue is Rahane scored 7 less than Yuvraj and 10 more than Raina. Okay. Kohli scored 56, which is 8 less than Dhoni. Raina scored 34, which is 1 less than Dhawan. So these are the clues given. So based on which we need to find out how many batsmen scored more than Dhoni. Okay. So how do you find it? So here also what we'll do is we'll just I'm coming to this paint and then we can just note it down here. Okay. So first of all, uh, what are the options given? One option is Kohli's score is directly given. Kohli has scored 56. Okay. So that we can find, which is 8 less than Dhoni, which means Dhoni has scored 56 plus 8, 64, right? That is Dhoni's score. Dhoni is 64. Okay. So we got what the score of Dhoni is from clue number 2. Now we need to find out the scores of other batsmen. So what is the next one it is given? Is there any direct scores given? Rahane, Yuvraj. So Raina scored 34. That is directly given, right? So you can write Raina 34. That is directly given. Now Dhawan scored one greater than Raina, right? Dhawan is 35. So then we have Rahane and Yuvraj, right? Rahane scored 7 less than Yuvraj and 10 more than Raina. So basically Rahane scored 10 more than Raina, which means Rahane scored Raina's score plus 10, which is 44. And finally Yuvraj. Yuvraj scored 7. Yuvraj scored 7 greater than Rahane, right? So it will be 51, right? Yes. So we got the scores of all the batsmen. How do you get it? We used all the clues. We used all the 3 clues, right? Then now we can find out how many batsmen scored more than Dhoni. Actually, nobody scored more than Dhoni, right? Dhoni has 64. Nobody has more than 64. So we can find out the answer. We can say that nobody scored more than Dhoni. Okay, how did you find it? So that is the question. So how many clues or what are the clues that you used? So here you need to use all these 3 clues to find out the answer, right? So only 2 is sufficient? No, we cannot find out, with only the second statement. Both 1 and 2 are sufficient? No, we need all 3. So we can say statements 1, 2, and 3 are sufficient, right? We need all these 3 statements to find out the answer, right? So that is the correct answer. Okay, so this is the solution. So here we get all the scores for all batsmen. So actually that one is 35. I by mistake I put 34. It should be 35. So nobody scored more than Dhoni. So you need to use all 3 statements. Hence statements 1, 2, and 3 are sufficient, right? So that is the correct answer. Okay. So now you got the idea of like how data sufficiency questions comes, right? So you will be given some data or you will be given some relationships or clues based on a question. So first there will be a question, then there will be some clues. Then you need to find out whether these clues are enough to find out the solution. If it is enough, how many clues do you need, and which are those clues to find out the correct answer. Okay. So that is the pattern for this data sufficiency problem. All right. So now let's move to the next question, which is example 2. So how many students are there in the class? So that is the question. Okay. So what are the clues? So we have 2 clues. First clue is there are more than 20 but less than 27 students in the class. So so let's just write it down. Okay. So number of students. Okay, it should be more than more than 20 but less than 27. Okay. So basically it means that your number of students will be between 20 and 26, right? It will be less than 27 and more than 20. So it will be 21, in between 21 and 26. Right? Okay. And there are, so second clue is there are more than 24 but less than 31 students. Okay. So more than 24, less than 31. So which means it'll be between, or it'll be, can be 25 to 30 also, right? If you combine both this, right, what is the common, uh, you know, number that we get? It can be either 25 or 26. Okay. So in the question, it is mentioned that the number of students in the class can be divided into groups such that each group contains 5 students. Okay. So basically, if we divide the students into groups, each students can contain 5 students. So which means it will be a multiple of 5. So here, out of 25 and 26, we only have, 25 as a multiple of 5, right? So the answer will be 25, right? Yes. So here, uh, what did you use here? Statement 1 alone are sufficient to answer. No. Statement 2 alone. No. Statement 1 alone. No. Both statement 1 and 2 together are necessary, right? So you need to use both these statements 1 and 2 to find out the solution of this question, right? So that is the answer. So if you look at the solution, right, from statement 1 we get number of students in the class is 21 to 26. Number of students in the class from statement 2 is 25 to 30. Combining both 1 and 2 we get 25 or 26, right? And since it's a multiple of 5, the answer is 25, right? If we only use the first thing, right? Uh, so then what you can see, like, or if you only use the second, you can see it can be 30 also, right? So it can be either 25 or 30 because 30 is also a multiple of 5. So how can you say, uh, so if you only use this first statement, right? So how can you be sure that it's 25, right? And in the number of students, yes, yes, but I see this is, see here it's a, like, it's a, so here it's a, I think this is an extension of this statement, right? So you need also this condition to get it. Uh, okay, there are more before, but less than 31 students in the class. Okay, let me check. If is there anything wrong? Okay, 20 but less than 27. So it should be 21 to 26. There are more than 24 but less than 31. So it should be okay. The number of students that can be divided in groups is that each group contains 5 students. Yeah. So, mhm. So yeah. So if you okay, so there is, yeah. So I missed something, right? So if you see the first option, okay, so it's between 20 and 27. So this is not an extension of this second statement. So it is given as separate. Okay. So in that case, so if it's between 20 and 27, and you have this condition, right? Then yeah, obviously you can find out with 25. Yeah, yes, that's true. Yes, so I missed that, but yeah, you only need the first statement, right? So you don't really need the second statement. So if I only use the second statement is, can I find it out? 25, 30. So there'll be both two options. So then it'll be, I'll not be sure whether it's 25 or 30, right? So the second we only, oh, with second option only, I cannot find it out, right? So yeah, yes, exactly. So only statement 1 is required, right? So yeah, that is correct. So you can find it out with statement one itself. All right. So, yep. So that's how you find out. So now, so okay. So I think you were just following along very, fine. I think you were able to, point out the mistake. So thanks for that. Just a second. All right. Yeah. So now we can just move to the next one, which is how many pens does Rahul have? Okay. So Rahul has 12 pens less than what Neha has. Riya has 18 pens more than what Neha has. And Raj has 8 pens which are 40% less than what Neha has. Okay. So this is the three things that we have. So three statements or three clues. Okay. So how many pens does Rahul have? That is what we need to find out, right? So what I'll do is I'll just remove all this thing. So first of all, uh, Rahul, how many pens does Rahul has? So here we have Rahul has 12 pens less than what Neha has. So basically, so we can write Rahul has 12 less than Neha, right? Okay, so then what else do we have? Ria has 18 pens more than what Neha has. Okay, so Ria has 18 more than Neha. So that doesn't give us any clue about what Rahul has, right? So then what is, okay, anyways, I'm just gonna write it down. Ria has 18 more than uh, Neha. And finally, we have Raj has 8 pens, which are 40 percentage less than what Neha has. Okay, so basically, Raj has 8 pens, which is 40 percentage less. So that is clearly given. So Raj has 8 pens. This is 40 percentage less than what Neha has, right? Less than what Neha has. Okay. So basically, we can find out how much pen does Neha have from this statement, right? How do you find out? You can write. So if 40% less is 8, then how do you find out? So Neha, you can write Neha has 100 divided by 40 into 8, right? So which will be 2.5, right? 5 into 8, 80, which is 8, which is 20, right? So uh, you can find out that Neha has 20 pen from the third statement. Now, once you get Neha's pens, you can find out Rahul's pens by this first statement, right? So you can write Rahul equals 20, 20 minus 12, which is 8. So you only need first statement and third statement. You don't need Ria's number because that doesn't, we don't need that, right? That is just, you can just ignore it. So you can write only options 1 and 3 are sufficient, or both 1 and 3. Here you can see both 1 and 3 are sufficient, right? So that is, yeah, here's the math. Okay, okay. So now let's move to example 4, which is on which day of the week? Yeah, oh, okay, okay, okay. If it's 40% less, okay, that has, okay, it's 40% less. But still, right? So if it's 40% less, which means that, yeah, it doesn't matter. It means that you can find out like what is 20% less. So uh Raj has 8 pens. So it should be 24, I think, right? Neha has 24, which would be, yes. If Neha has 24, then that'll be 40%. Raj has 8. Okay. So if it's 12, right? If Neha has 12, then Raj has 8. Is that 20, 40%? Okay. I need to do the math, but still it doesn't matter, right? Even if that is 40% less or 40%, still we can find out what Rahul has from statement 1 and statement 3, right? So yeah. All right. So we'll move to the next one, which is, on which day of the week from Monday to Sunday did uh, Virat reach Australia? Okay, so that is the question. So which day did Virat reach Australia? So we have three clues. So Anushka reached Australia on Friday. Virat reached Australia after Tuesday. Virat reached before Anushka. So from these statements, we need to find out on which day did Virat reach Australia. Okay. So so we can, from first statement, Anushka reached Australia on Friday. Okay. And from the third statements or second statement, we know that Virat reached Australia on Tuesday, and Virat reached before Anushka. So it means that Virat should either, yeah, after Tuesday. So it will be after Tuesday, but before Friday. So it can be either Wednesday or Thursday, right? But we don't know whether, we cannot be sure whether it's Wednesday or Thursday. So which means, even if we have all these three clues, right, that is inadequate to find out the exact answer. So what would be the answer solution? Data inadequate. Because even if we use all three clues, we will not be able to find out the answer, right? We'll only be able to find out, okay, Virat reached Australia either on Wednesday or on Thursday. But you cannot be sure whether it's Wednesday or Thursday. So option will be data inadequate, right? Yeah, Virat could have reached Australia on Wednesday or Thursday, right? Based on this uh, options. Now we'll just move to the next one, which is, who among Big Show, Undertaker, Matt Henry, and John Cena is the heaviest? So that is the question. So there are three clues. So Undertaker is heavier than John Cena. Okay, so that's the first clue. Then Big Show is not us. So we just need to find out who is the heaviest, right? So we can just remove one option at a time. Undertaker is heavier than John Cena, so the answer will not be John Cena for sure, right? Because John Cena is less heavier than Undertaker. So we can ignore this. So three options left. Big Show is not as heavy as Matt Henry or Undertaker. So which means Big Show is not as heavy as Matt Henry or Undertaker. So Big Show is not the heaviest. So it should be either Undertaker or Matt Henry. The third option is John Cena is neither the heaviest nor the lightest. Right? John Cena is not the heaviest and not the lightest. So from these three clues, we only need to find out we are only able to understand that the heaviest will be either Undertaker or Matt Henry, right? But still, we are not sure whether it is Undertaker or whether it is Matt Henry, right? So we cannot be sure, even if we use all three clues. So in that case, what you can say is that uh, data is inadequate, right? So we need more data or we need some data between, or relationship between Matt Henry and Undertaker to find out who is the heaviest. But that is not provided here. We can say data is inadequate, right? Yeah, the heaviest could be either Undertaker or Matt Henry. Okay. So yeah, so those were the five questions on data sufficiency, right? So I think you got the point, right? So how do you, figure out the solution, or how do you approach these questions? I think you get a basic understanding of that. Okay, so I'll just suggest some resources, right? So you can just, look for this prep and star. I think these guys like face prep. These has some, like online resources like questions, model questions and all. Then YouTube also you can just search. So what you can do is you can just search for. So I have taken four sessions, like four topics, right? One is coding, decoding, then patterns and series. Then today we have gone through syllogism and data sufficiency. You can just search for this particular topic, right? So then you will be able to find out a lot of questions. There'll be a lot of questions coming on the internet itself, so you can just use that and try to practice as many questions as possible, right? So uh, initially you can just, so once you understand the basic concept, right, how do you solve one question, then you will be able to figure out the solution for all the, or like you'll be able to approach all the questions. Okay, so yeah, practice as many questions as you can. YouTube, I don't know if there is any particular channel, but you can just search for a particular topic, right? So if it's data